because like I was listening to this thing on forgiveness by Bishop Tutu, and the whole thing about apartheid and people who wanted to. There's something called Ubuntu, and people who had experienced, really crazy stuff. Their relative being killed or tortured, that kind of stuff. But yet, the whole premise behind Ubuntu is that to move on, I need to say, I need to have forgiveness to the perpetrator. I need to forgive the perpetrator for me to move on. And I find that like really interesting because like there's a sense, that like even for some of us Igorot folks, it's like, dude, you can't be talking about us if you haven't even recognized the stuff that your ancestors had discriminated on my people, right? So,
well, this is the important part, because one of the things about that when you're referring to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa, which is how they started working kind of like on a way to move forward, was and Bishop Tutu was the lead counsel for the, or lead advisor for that. The idea of Ubuntu is I am because you are, and you are because I am, and humanity. And so there's this deep interconnection with each other. In that process, it wasn't pertinent necessarily that a person says I'm sorry or acknowledges what they did, but they were invited to be part of the listening process. It was a deep listening process. Yeah. And it's generally was considered like successful. Did it work on changing systems? It helped people move forward. There's a lot of work still to do, right? But it helped people move forward. And the biggest thing, though, is it opened up a space for people to name their stories of pain and hurt and have a person there, whether they acknowledge it or not, listen to it or have the opportunity to listen to it. But it put out there whoever wanted to, who never needed to share a story about a lost loved one or the pain that they've experienced, they were there to share it. And if the person who was on the other side was there and wanted to be there, they could be there. And so it was a long process. It was hours and hours and years of listening to people come with their testimonies and sharing it. And then other people listening and being part of that process who were perpetrators at one time or another. And so it was opportunity for people who, whether they were separated by, what power that they had or what class or what race, ethnicity, it was an opportunity for some truth telling and also, and it offered people the opportunity to forgive, to let go, to let go of the thing that the attachment that they're holding on to, the deep scarring. It offered people a way of healing. And so perhaps one of the things for us, with people, isn't necessarily that we're expecting other people to acknowledge our Igorotness. I don't expect that, to be honest. At my age now and the way I feel now, I don't. But I think it's our responsibility to go out there and show and share. And if those people are willing to listen, other Filipinos are willing to listen, that's great. I think they should. But we also have to make a presentation. We have to take the responsibility. You can't talk about any sort of rights thing without taking responsibility. So if we want to be acknowledged amongst the pantheon of Filipinos, which I think we are, or getting more there to it, because anytime they show those nice videos of the Philippines, somehow they're always in the mountains showing, those nice Igorot gals with the topics and all that, or they're having us with the banga dance that we've now adopted, as our own now, even though that's, and so things like that. I mean, you see Igorot people in those kind of shots, and it's important. There is an acknowledgement there, but we also have to share our stories too. And so there needs to be a willingness to
Jay, you're out. Your mic is gonna. You're back.
Am I back?
What the hell?
What'd you press?
Yeah, you're back. What did you say?
Oh, well, when did I go?
Just now.
Just about 5 seconds ago.
Oh, I mean, there has to be an acknowledgement that we need to speak until justice wakes. That I think is true. And justice, not about retribution or revenge. Justice about restoration, about becoming whole, the acknowledgement of being whole people, and having that, and having people honor that. I think those are very important for us. So we definitely have to share. If we're not out there
So right on
sharing,
for like.
And to be fair, we weren't like systematically oppressed in a way, right? There wasn't like some sort of program. We weren't like there wasn't any form of genocide. Yeah, it was more banal, right? There wasn't like a systematic genocide towards our people. So in that sense, there has been some justice, like I've seen. Like I think it was somebody. I think we talked about this where I was ranting this guy on Instagram, calling himself like Igorot or whatever. But then someone pointed to me. I was like, he's like, no, be happy about it, because before, back in the day, like these non Igorots, they would look down on Igorots. They would like, but now there's a more interest in it. There was a more positive look, or sorry, a positive image or perception of who Igorots are compared to how it was in the past. There is some sense of justice in that. Yeah. But so how do we recognize? Yeah. How can we reconcile like how in the past we were not included into the Filipino pantheon, yet now there's a new I guess like issue where we're not being acknowledged because we're too muddled into the Filipino pantheon. How do you like reconcile that?